Hey guys, Travis Gillespie here. We've been working with theoretical probability, and let's take a look at a few more problems here. So this states that we have a fair number cube and it's rolled, and we want to find each probability. So let's take a look at finding the probability of rolling a 5. So the probability of 5. Now this might look a little bit weird, so the first thing I want to do, since I know I'm dealing with a number cube, each time I'm just going to write out the values on a number cube. And those values, well, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I've got 6 numbers on my number cube. And we just want to know the probability of rolling a 5. Well, before we even start looking through how we can solve this problem, let's just set up our formula. And before I do that, I just want to change colors. And let's just write that as the probability of an event. Okay, so the probability of an event, it's equal to the number of our favorable outcomes. So I'm just going to write favorable outcomes, or fav outcomes, on top, over the number of possible outcomes, or just let's write total outcomes on bottom. And I can extend this fraction bar a little bit farther. Alright, now we can set up our problem here. So we have the probability of rolling a 5, that's our event. So I'm going to rewrite that below. Let's just go back to our purple color here. So the probability of rolling a 5, it's equivalent to, okay, so the probability of rolling a 5, it's equal to the number of favorable outcomes. Well, how many favorable outcomes are in my list here? I'm looking to roll a 5, and I only see that 5 appears one time here. In fact, I just want to get a yellow color, and we can just underline 5. That is the one favorable outcome. It's the only time that 5 appears in this list, so it only appears one time, and I'm going to put a 1 on top for favorable outcomes. And I'm just going to change colors, put a 1 on top, and what goes on bottom? The total outcomes. Well, how many total possible outcomes are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 possible total outcomes. So 1 over 6 in this case. Can this be simplified? No. So we're just going to box it up, and we've got our answer. Okay, so we've got an answer for rolling a 5. But what about looking at the probability of not rolling a 5? Let's try that out real quick. I'm going to write that over here. The probability of not rolling a 5, or the probability of not 5. What's this equal to? Well, I've already copied this information above, so let's just go and repaste it real quick. And I'm going to drag it over here. That way we don't have to rewrite the formula all the way. However, I do have to change or modify a few things, because we're looking at the probability of an event not happening. But above we have this formula written as the probability of an event actually happening. So the first thing I'm going to do is just change pen colors, and now I want to write down the probability of an event not happening. So probability of this event not happening, it's equal to, it cannot be equal to the number of favorable outcomes, because favorable outcomes deals with an event actually happening. So we have to deal with the opposite. Since we are looking at an event not happening, we're looking at the opposite. We're just going to write the opposite of favorable, which is unfavorable. So let's just put a U and an N in front here. The number of unfavorable outcomes over the total outcomes. Okay, so over here we have the probability of an event actually happening. It's equal to favorable outcomes over total outcomes. Over here we have the probability of an event not happening. It's equal to the number of unfavorable outcomes over the total outcomes in this case. And I'm just going to extend that fraction bar a little bit farther here. Okay, let's go to purple and figure out how we can set up this problem now. So the probability of an event not happening, in this case the probability of 5 not occurring. Well, let's go and look at our unfavorable outcomes here. Well, our unfavorable outcomes are those numbers that are not 5. So 1 is not 5, 2 is not equal to 5. Also, this would be another unfavorable outcome, 4 would be an unfavorable outcome, and 6 would. These are all the numbers that are not 5. Well, how many unfavorable outcomes are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 unfavorable outcomes. So I'm going to go get purple, and we're going to put 5 unfavorable outcomes on top. So the number of unfavorable outcomes is 5. However, the total outcomes should still be the same. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides on the number cube. So I'm going to put 6 on bottom, and we can box up this answer. Let's go ahead and just get a little bit more room on the screen here. And this time, let's say we're looking at the probability of rolling a prime number. So this time we want to roll a prime number. So what's the probability of rolling a prime number? The first thing I'm going to do is just paste that information and bring it down again. And we are actually looking for the event occurring. The prime numbers are the events that are occurring here. So this is the formula, the setup we're going to use. I'm just going to go back to that yellow pen real quick. And let's underline all of our prime numbers. Well, 1 is not a prime number, so we're going to skip over it. 2 is a prime number. 3 is a prime number. 5 and 5 are all prime numbers. So we have 1, 2, and 3 favorable outcomes. So let's go ahead and change pen colors. I have 3 favorable outcomes. That's going to go on top. And I have 6 total outcomes still, so I'll put that on bottom. Can this be simplified? Absolutely. So the next thing I want to do here is go ahead and just simplify it to 1/2. And we can box this up. Let's take a look at one last problem here. Let's pretend our number cube this time, we're just going to pretend that instead of having 6 sides, this is an odd looking number cube. It's going to have 8 sides. So the first thing I'm going to do is just print this information out again. And I'm going to add 2 more sides to our number cube. We're just pretending it's shaped a little bit differently. So we have 7 and 8 sides with our number cube this time. And I want to know what the probability is of rolling an even number with this 8-sided number cube. So the probability of rolling an even number, that's equal to our favorable outcomes on top. And how many favorable outcomes do we have? How many even numbers are there? Well, let's see. 2 is an even number, 4, 6, and 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 favorable outcomes. Let's change colors. I'm going to put 4 on top. So I have 4 on top, and how many total outcomes are there? Well, there are 8 total outcomes possible, so I'm going to put 8 on bottom. And this can be simplified to 1/2 as well. And now we can box this answer up. Cool stuff, guys. I'll see you in another video.